Nobody actually talks about how difficult it is to grow your team, be an effective leader, and train people to do things not only the way you would do them, but better. I want to start off by talking you through some of the absolute biggest mistakes that I've made in business, and almost all of them revolve around hiring and growing my team. First things first, not doing quality control and not knowing how to do quality control. A lot of things that are going to go into that are not having good enough systems, having confusion around what people's roles and responsibilities are, not having SOPs. When you are hiring a team, it's twofold. There's the side and the component of they can make mistakes. The person needs to have the skills. They need to be somebody who is ethical, going to act with integrity, going to actually care about your business. And then on the other hand, if they do something wrong or if they don't know how to do something, oftentimes that actually has nothing to do with them and comes back on you as the manager. It's a completely different skill set to be able to be a good manager and a good leader than it is for you to be able to be an expert in your field. And so just because you are an industry leader in your field does not necessarily mean that you have the skills necessary to scale a business. Because when you get to a certain point, you move away from you doing it and you scaling the business to where you build the team that builds the business. It was definitely a steep learning curve, not only because it's something that I had never done before, but because of how young I am. I've learned basically through trial and error and reading a ton of books how to effectively manage, grow, and scale a team. And we've seen even just in the past 6 months, as I've been able to step more into that leadership role, our business has scaled exponentially. Let's talk about the things that I have learned and the systems that I've implemented as a result of these hard-learned lessons. First and foremost, SOPs. SOPs are so important because that is what is going to take questions and time and stress off of your plate so that people can see and know exactly what your expectations are and how you want things to be done. What we like to do specifically is we have SOPs that are built out in ClickUp, and I have both a Loom video as well as a written walkthrough and a checklist for every single SOP. And because those SOPs are housed in ClickUp, we're able to connect those directly with any tasks that are being assigned to team members. We have a very streamlined process to be able to update that SOP so that in the future it is current. Which brings me to number 2, which is task management. So it is absolutely vitally important that you as a founder are able to have a big picture of the health of your business. And what I mean by that is not even from a financial sense, but from a progress and development sense. Are there any team members that are behind? Is there any team member who is like bogged down with notifications, or maybe they have too many tasks assigned to them, their workload is too heavy? Maybe we have a specific type of task that we're seeing is consistently behind. Being able to get that data and have this big picture overview of where everyone's at, what everyone's doing. One, it's going to maximize the efficiency of your business. Number 2, it's going to give you the peace of mind that you don't need to be texting and following up and remembering everything because the system is doing it for you. And number 3, it gives you important data to be able to see what's working, what's not, and make sure that nothing is getting missed. Which brings me to number 3, which is quality control and monitoring. Part of that goes hand in hand with task management, making sure that people have everything up to date, that things are getting checked off, that nothing is being left overdue. But also, it's really important to monitor for quality control. For example, something that I do inside of our business is we make sure that absolutely every single one of our coaching calls with any of our panel members is recorded. And so what I will do is I have a reoccurring reminder for myself to go in twice a month and randomly audit some of the calls that have been done with our clients. And so that allows me to not have to think about it when it pops up on my to-do list. It's something that I can knock out and ensure that there isn't anything that is slipping through the cracks or being done in a way that I wouldn't want it to be done. Number 4 is something that I would highly recommend, especially if you are a growing team when you're finding that you're actually spending a lot of times in meetings. Doing weekly reviews, check-ins, end of day forms, anything like that that can be built into your project management system. We use ClickUp. It really takes so much time and stress off of your plate, and it allows you to have kind of an archive of the thoughts and feelings of your team members. So something that I have built out in our ClickUp that I'm really excited about are these end of day forms. And essentially what it is, it should take less than like 3 minutes to complete, but every single team member will go through and let me know if there was something that made their job hard that day. So at the end of the week, I can compile all of that information and see if there is something that is making everyone's life hard that I can actually fix. So again, making sure and monitoring the health of the business can come in many different ways, and it's not always the data and the spreadsheets. Sometimes it's having systems in place that allow you to hear from your team members that are a lot more boots on the ground inside of your business. When it comes to knowing who to hire and what order you should hire people in, there's a lot of debate in the online space whether it should be a social media manager or a virtual assistant. It should be the thing that you are spending the most time doing that doesn't equate to revenue. Social media, that's typically something that's going to be equating to revenue. And especially in the beginning of your business, if you can't effectively market your business, nobody else is going to be able to, because no one else is going to know your business better than you. So if you can't even effectively communicate what your business does and sell to people on social media, you're not going to be able to hand that off to a social media manager. Something that seems to be a bottleneck for most clients is either delivery or admin, which is where I think that hiring a virtual assistant or somebody to help with the delivery of your clients to essentially give you more hands and give you back more time in your day so that you can work on the business rather than in the business would be my first choice. A lot of people will also tell you that you should hire someone for sales support. And again, I say, if you are not good at sales, you shouldn't be hiring somebody to do sales for you. You should be developing that skill. As the founder, you should have the highest close rate within your business. And as somebody who's going to be developing the team, you need to have those skills so that you can provide feedback and be an effective manager for your team. So a lot of this, when it comes to knowing who to hire, it's not necessarily outsourcing the things that you don't like or aren't good at. Eventually you'll get to a level where that is acceptable to do, but especially in the beginning where you are going to be in charge of managing, training, and oversight, if you don't have these skills yourself, you're not going to be able to build an effective team that has these skills. Finally, I want to talk about leveraging your team for growth. Going back to those weekly check-ins and the monitoring, you want to not only optimize and automate your own workflows, but you want to be looking at how you can maximize efficiency for each of your different team members as well. So something I recommend is actually taking over the role of one of your team members, maybe once a quarter. Determine what are the things that are a bottleneck? What is taking more time than maybe it should? Is it something that you could systematize? Is it something that could be automated? Is it something that could actually just have an improvement in the SOP or have a template created? Step in and consistently request feedback from your team so that you can optimize their workflows, create automations, and make their lives easier. Because the easier their life is, the easier you make it for them to do their job, the more money you are going to make. Finally, I want to leave you with an exercise that I highly recommend you do at the very least once a quarter with your entire team. This is called Start, Stop, Continue. And the reason that you do this is because your team often is going to have a lot more insight about the day-to-day operations of the business than you are, because they're the ones actually in there working with clients, creating the marketing, doing the sales calls. Once you step into that manager role, you're not going to be as in it in the day-to-day of your business. You're going to be the visionary. They're going to be the executors, right? So you need to get that data from the executors. So I always like to ask my team, what's one thing that you think we should start doing? This could be something as small as something internal that we do with the team, or something large that we do with the clients, a new offer that we roll out. Number two, what's something that we should stop doing? So is it a service that we offer, but we rarely actually have people sign up for it? Or maybe it's a step in a process that's kind of redundant. There's so many different things that it could be. And again, this can be high level, small scale, but we want to see what can we start doing, what can we stop doing, and then what's something that you feel like we're doing well that we should continue. Now, my caveat to the continue is I always like to know, is this something that we should continue doing exactly the way it is? Or is this something that you feel that we should continue doing but elevate it in some way?
If you'd like to learn more about our advisory offers and how we help people just like yourself scale with organic social media that's backed by sales psychology so you don't have to run any ads, be sure to check out our links in the description below so you can binge, get inside our world, and get connected with us.
All of these lessons have been very hard-earned lessons for me, and a lot of what I have learned has come from trial and error and so many books about leadership, management, hiring a team. And it's something that we should have a lot more conversations around, because even though we all want to talk about marketing and sales because that's what's sexy, your team is ultimately who is scaling your business. If you have any questions about hiring or scaling your team, be sure to leave a comment down below. And of course, my DMs are always open if you want to chat through anything related to this or anything else. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.